points off turnovers, most of them in the second half. Grimes, that's a tie ball. Arrow to Creighton.
The ball stays with Creighton.
Here's Haslam, a man-child in low, just getting Grimes on his tail, and it's a mismatch in here. This could go on every possession for an easy two.
Yeah, the moment you knew that this game was going to see a second overtime with Korver out with 5, it was clearly advantage Florida.
Florida will know it low.
Bowden almost lost it. Out of bounds to Creighton. Last touch by Justin Hamilton. And again, those are the critical outs. Korver and Darren. One a low post player. Korver, the most versatile talent the Blue Jays have. Player of the year in the league. Dabbert, the other physical player, really rendered a non-factor because he's not a scorer.
Who's going to be willing for Creighton to step up and have the courage to knock down a big shot here outside of Taylor, who Florida knows where he is at all times?
McKinney's rainbow woefully short. Lindemann the follow. That may be the answer. A missed shot and a tip could be their best offense.
Offensive rebounding. Sometimes it is your best offense.
Under a minute in the second overtime.
23-second difference in the shot clock and game clock.
Bonner, yes, and a foul.
Creighton foul number 22.
Here we see Bonner coming off a cut to the basket. Lindemann gets hung up on the screen by Haslam, powers it to the basket and gets scores.
One shot.
Yes, Coach Donovan.
He may be older, but he's still living vicariously through the players. John Pelfrey, one of his assistants, one of the unforgettables for Pitino and Donovan at Kentucky. Just as into it. He'll be a head coach one day.
Still a two-possession game now, 45 seconds to go. Creighton down 4. They need a good shot, whether it's a 2 or a 3. And then take a timeout if they can score.
Yeah, and they need to get it up quickly because it is a two-possession game.
Time.
Yep. Was that a timeout?
That was a timeout.
I'm on the sidelines. I'm an assistant coach today.
At Michelin.
Here's what's coming up later today. Our second rotation of games. Penn and Cal have actually already tipped. So we're cutting into round 2 games in day 1. You see Hampton and Connecticut, San Diego State, Illinois. That'll be starting 30 minutes after the conclusion of our game in overtime in Hawaii against Xavier.
First thing Florida has to do is get the ball inbounds. They can run the baseline because it was a made field goal. That's a huge advantage for the offense. Any problem, Florida has 4 timeouts left. They should use a timeout in any emergency situation. Creighton's got to figure out who to foul and take their chances by fouling someone and hope they miss free throws.
Well, remember, Haslam has missed half of his tries today.
And, of course, Florida's going to want to keep it in good foul shooters' hands. There's your timeout.
Yep. He has a complete allotment to take advantage of, just as Eddie mentioned. We'll be back. Both teams in the double bonus as you look at our game reset. The possession arrow to Florida, that's important. And what else is important?
Well, it's important that, first of all, Florida get the ball inbounds. There's Billy talking to Bonner, trying to communicate what he wants. Have heart, young man, have heart. They need to get the ball inbounds. They cannot move, though. This is a spot throw. Florida's going to want to keep the ball in the hands of their best foul shooters. Creighton's going to have to foul. Any emergency timeout, they still have 3 left.
5-second call. Guard problems. Orion Green, Justin Hamilton, no Teddy Dupay. Once again, as unfortunate as it is to remind people, it's a factor.
And a mental mistake. There's another chance to take the timeout. That's why coaches save timeouts in emergencies down the stretch of close games.
You see Brett Nelson's reaction. The shoulders just, begin to slouch, and you say, oh, how could we have allowed that to happen? We knew how many timeouts we had remaining. Very unfortunate for the Gators, but Creighton with new life with a depleted bench.
Orion Green taking the ball out of bounds on a crucial inbounds play. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, turnover. Nice call by the official. My rule, Tim, was when it got to 3, timeout. Don't give the official a chance to maybe count fast.
Billy Donovan saying, please, would you take the timeout? Please. But again, you know, those are times offensively, and I think that's where they miss Dupay most. Not on the defensive end, because Green and Hamilton can play defensively, but those kinds of breakdowns on the offensive end is where they miss it.
I agree. He might have been taking the ball out of bounds, perhaps, Tim.
Yep.
Florida's sticking in the 2-3 zone. They got to know where Taylor is every step of the way. They must touch him, literally put a hand on him.
They're going to put the ball in his hands, one would think. Knocked away by Lee. 9.9 left on the game clock. In the second overtime, Creighton, the 12 seed, trying to become the third 12 seed to advance in this 2002 NCAA tournament. Two got there yesterday. Carroll. Hamilton defensively, a scrum, out of bounds. Boy, what a break. Had that been a tie ball, the arrow would have gone to Florida. Instead, it's out of bounds. Creighton now has it with 4.5.
No timeouts left. Here's the deflection by Hamilton. Excellent effort. He tips it, and it's off of Florida. Still Creighton's ball. No timeouts left for Creighton. Difficult play versus the zone from the side out of bounds.
McKinney's a three-point shooter, as is Taylor. Bowden can drive. They don't have to have a three, but you'd think they'd be thinking that way. Taylor for the win. Got it! The game is not over. Now, how much time could be remaining? That could be a key. I think Billy wants to know that he should be able to get tenths of a second on the clock. Tenths of a second on the clock could mean everything in this situation.
Absolutely. Here's Taylor off the dribble, crosses on Brett Nelson, jumps up with his athleticism, and bangs home the huge three.
His 8th three-pointer of the afternoon.
Wow, how happy is the Creighton Blue Jays?
Only one option for that team, and Billy knew it. They still couldn't stop him. Well defended on the play.
Here's Taylor coming to meet the ball. Brett Nelson does not get head up. Boom, crossover, get into the three-point line and bang it home.
All right. Well, I tell you, I don't think he gets more than, say, 2/10 or 3/10 of a second left. I think it went down with 0.4 left. Look at Korver's big blue eyes light up.
Tim, you mentioned a 1/10 of a second is a big 1/10 of a second in this instance here, in this situation.
Well, you can't shoot it.
You can't. If I'm Creighton, I got to put somebody all over Bonner who's taking the ball out for Florida. You got to block his vision. You cannot give Bonner a good look to throw this ball toward their basket. Florida must throw this ball to at least the foul line area in the front court. And you can see Dabbert will be all over Bonner to block his view, to make this pass a difficult pass.
4 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, and Creighton may have finally gotten into the win column for Dana Altman. That's it. The Blue Jays become the third 12 seed to knock out a number 5. An incredible win for the Blue Jays, particularly given the players that they lost. Both Brody Guerin and Kyle Korver out of the game for the overtimes, and they advance. The winner of this game, of course, to take on the Illinois San Diego State winner. Our Chevrolet most valuable players for each team. Terrell Taylor, 8 threes in the second half, including the game winner, Udonis Haslem, our Chevy MVP for the Florida Gators. Well, the beat goes on. Take that for the Pods, Greg Gumbel. It was marvelous in Chicago today. Let's go to New York.
All right, Tim Brando, anybody have any questions as to what this tournament is all about this time of year? The Creighton Blue Jays, in double overtime, knock off the 5th seed Florida Gators. First time in tournament history that 3 number 12s have moved on out of the first round and on to the next round. The Blue Jays win it by a score of 83-82. Also today.